4 steps to facing your weaknesses to transform them. Let's think about the key ingredients of any superhero movie. There's a superhero, a sidekick, and a bad guy. To have a story, we have to have a conflict between the superhero and the villain. If the good guy didn't confront the bad guy, we wouldn't have a story or a saved town. The same thing applies to your situation right now, with your weaknesses. You'll never be able to change those weaknesses if you don't face them. The hardest part is realizing what you're up against, and you're doing that right now. With the bad behind us, let's start working on capitalizing on the good. 1. Identify your weaknesses. Believe it or not, your weaknesses come with positives. Your weaknesses say something about you, and they stem from your history. Identify with those weaknesses. Get to know them. Recognize them as your own, and then it will be much easier to transform them. This step can be hard at first because you're probably inclined to dismiss or avoid your weaknesses. Try to gut it out, though, because you have to know what you're working with to be able to get to work. 2. Target your strengths. Weaknesses and strengths aren't meant to go against each other. Weaknesses can learn from strengths, so if you play your cards right, you can make it into an ideal scenario. Begin by targeting your strengths, expanding on them, and then figuring out how your weaknesses relate to them. 3. Reach out. Who do you call when you're in a pickle? Who do you reach out to when you need a beacon of support? It could be a friend or a family member. Either way, it's essential to reach out to help when help is needed, especially when you're tackling your weaknesses. 4. Focus on the why. There's a method to your madness here. In this context, there's a method to your weakness. There's a why behind your motives. So if you don't already know it, figure it out. There will be times when you'll feel like giving up, or you'll feel discouraged. In those times, you need something to inspire you. That's your why. That's a starter kit of 4 steps to transforming your weaknesses, but there's a whole slew of ways to work your weaknesses into strengths. Begin with these 4 simple steps and see how you feel. You'll be fighting off the villains in no time. Now get out there and be your own superhero.